Greetings, folks. I hope you're treating yourselves well, and of course, others. My name is Clair, and this is a channel where I like to do tarot readings. Today, I thought we should do what people notice about you. It seems like an enticing subject, so let's see what befalls. Pile 1, by the way. Pile 1, you had the lovely Magician. I already know because I just picked these cards. The Magician is a powerful card of taking one's strength you could have a way of MacGyvering things, making such work from inquisitive or harsh. You have a way of making things work, is what I'm trying to say. The Temperance, I think with the Magician and the Temperance coming out, there's a serious steadiness to your hand in the way that you approach life's tasks. I think you are very handy, maybe even handsy, but in a good way. You're very handy. You can fix a lot of situations even if you aren't familiar with how to aid or remedy them. There's a ticking in your brain that's constantly trying to aid whatever situation is beheld. You're going to give decent advice, or you're going to help the situation, if not fix it, if it is possible. There's no 5, 6, 7, the 7 of Cups. The mystery lies in if you can make it happen. You might be what people go to get decent advice or some sort of aid or help. You might be really knowledgeable in a subject. Therefore, people come to you frequently to temper their emotions, their will to do things. It seems as though you might have Page of Wands. The touch. You can make people motivated in their own life by just being yourself, proving that moving forward is better than being idle. I think you detest bad attitudes or those that just have conversations, make like liars for no reason. You don't enjoy conversation for the sake of throwing words into the atmosphere. People notice the Ace of Swords. You're very business or gung-ho to go, let's go, get it. You enjoy natural, nature-driven things. If you're not like a camper, there's still a wonder to you of nature. I think you really enjoy building things in nature or even like chopping wood, but I think there's a lot of routine that infests your day-to-day life, and people respect and notice that that's kind of how you get along. I think you might be trapped without a routine almost, or a sense of people are going to let you do things your way because your way seems to be pretty profitable or handy in your realm or sense. Getting in your way is not a super big option. 5, 6, 7, yeah. 7 of Wands, yeah. Getting in your way is not a super feasible option because you're very charismatic for one. So I don't think you necessarily have like a silver tongue, but you're not going to just feed into any sort of give and take. If people come to you, it better be correctly. And the 7 of Wands, if you are tempted to tell people what's up or level some feelings, there's a sense of like, if there needs to be regulation, or if someone needs to be almost punished in a way, you're very good at giving people what they give out. I think you are very much a mirror for how people portray themselves and whatnot. Like, if someone is trying to manipulate you, or if there's a certain way of communication that someone is taking on, if it's for better, then it will be reciprocated in this back and forth. But if not, then it simply will either be cut off, or they might feel foolish by even trying to. There's only going to be a reasonable conversation at the behest of you. There will be no silly bickering. There will be no fighting, of course, unless there needs to be like a calm perseverance. If there needs to be an argument had, you will be there. But the Knight of Swords, you're not going to just say things. And if people just say things to you without meaning it, you will remember that and you will take that into consideration. What people show you is what you take in, not what people say to you. People can say things all day. Maybe you're very good at linguistics or conversation. Maybe you're in a field where people give the opportunity or have the opportunity to bullshit you or give you the runaround, and it is fruitless. There is a fire within you that burns up all the turbulence that could, as long as you're on a good path. That is the Knight of Swords. You could have had a past where you knew manipulation. A lot of people could have known you to do your own thing, be very aloof, and or have a lot of opinions about situations. People could see that you have maybe done some embarrassing things in the past. Therefore, you are I want to say worldly, or a person that people can relate to. You very much have the mind's eye to relate and laugh at situations. You understand the humility and the downfalls and whatnot, but that doesn't stop others from. You've completely severed the past of yours. I think people see that you are on a success route. People are acknowledging that you won't be caught up in your day-to-day. You're not integrating any more poison into your life. You're not hung up on people. You found you found yourself and your way out of a stuck situation, and you made it yours. Therefore, people don't really understand your situation as much as you do. It's not a situation that was easily navigated in your honor or ways. King of Swords. So there's a huge respect. A lot of people know to not talk crazy, don't talk out the side of their necks towards you, because I think you have severe fangs and claws due to the things that you have beheld and understood. You're an animal in a sense. You know how animals are very aware of their situations. They are very good at what they need to do to survive. But if you get too close or you play around, you might find out. Like, there's absolutely nothing that's stopping you from being who you are, aside from, when I say who you are, it's just very dominant and powerful. But I think your day-to-day life keeps you from being egocentric, a narcissist. You don't have a whole lot of anger issues or the Queen of Wands. You're very fun. You're very adventurous. You're very lighthearted and bubbly. These things wear on you gloriously. You are obviously so fun to be around. Even in social situations, I think others cling to you, or you find you can manage a way around a party, a social event. You will schmooze people to the point where it's like you have a friend there, even if you don't. I think people really appreciate the fact that you can get along with most social situations and not fall back or be awkward. Like, you're actually in it. You're part of all the social things that you are around, because why not? there's very little detriment to you, but there is a severe factor of things can go south. You can reawake, like that person is still in you very strongly. The person, there's these like two sides of you that you want better and you want to do better. You want better for people, but there is a side to you that people don't want to get in your way. The Ten of Cups, and for good reason, because it seems as though like that life might be kind of swinging for you. You have an intuition that seems almost untouchable. And like, I want to go back to the thing of you overcame all these things. Maybe people visually saw you overcome a lot of stuff that's very amicable to everyone's life, but you almost have like this potion or inner knowing or inner light that is untouchable for some reason. It's very, like, you see there's one light on in the castle. I think that you're gonna stand out no matter what, and your success is imminent. It's just a matter of everyone sees that you probably have a lot of tests in life, therefore you're on your path you're caught up, you're doing some stuff, but people really do love your company. People love your company, and I think you're very home-filled. You cater to make people feel like you're in the moment and you're there. If you're having a conversation, you're not just saying, yeah, cool, tight, fire, that kind of thing. You're giving things back. Even if you don't want to be a part of the conversation, you're still in it because that's just the person that you are. If you're a part of something, you're going to give it your all. And that even could be, you might not even love that about yourself, but it is you, and it's a very pure thing to do. Like, you are just, it's 100. It's always 100, and it's a beautiful thing. Okay, you gotta know I love you. Hi, pal 2. What is up? Your card was the Queen of Cups. These cards are ravishingly pretty. People get caught up in your life. It could be very interesting. You could have a very social driven life or big family, lots of friends. The King of Cups, the Queen of Cups, and the King of Cups. You are on your path to what seems real love. I think you're kind of inviting your counterpart right now. If you don't have someone, I think you're really honing in and calling them, because it could be as though right now you are King of Coins, being more philanthropic with your words or actions, maybe giving time to certain things that you don't necessarily have to, or they don't have a lot to do with your life. I think people are seeing that you are trying new things, giving yourself an option, giving yourself more options in a way. You could have been very stagnant for a while or opinionated in some way, form, or fashion. I think it's visible that you are altering a state of mind or being, maybe with someone or for someone. The Five of Blades, certainly the Five of Swords is where they get the knife from. I think maybe you've had a past where you were hung up in your day-to-day lifestyle, what you knew was the best, or it was more of like your way is, or the highway. I think you're very smart or energetic. You have a lot of energy and or pride amongst the things that you've overcome, the people that you have seen and allowed into your life. I think you're very prideful of your community and your surroundings. The Temperance. There is a divine fear of yours. I think you have a fear of the afterlife or this life, or maybe even just people in your surroundings being hurt Maybe there's someone in your life who you need to be strong for. Maybe you're taking care of someone in some form or fashion in a medical field. I think, or maybe it's even like a mental thing. There's a lightness, a serendipity that has struck you in your life. Therefore, you are having to rearrange your mental state. I think life has come for you in a way that changed a lot of things, but the physical or mental changes that you have had to take because of this, people have noticed it's bloomed you into a more charismatic, it was a catharsis almost. There was a heavy, the Fool, a heavy restart, you took on a bigger project, a heavier subject, and kind of made the role as yours as possible. You have a beauty amongst your stability in the face of what is no more or what could be. The Fool with the Temperance are the two big cards that have come out. So the emotional strain that you have had to go through, people's visual of that is, I wish that I can attain that sort of prowess in the future. I think your ability to stay calm and understand that everyone is going through a lot of things right now, your perspective in situations is enticing and refreshing for a lot of people. A lot of people do not think of others when they're annoyed by others' actions. There's a sense of the Nine of Cups. You understand that life is very difficult for us all, and almost take on this role of like, we're all in this together without being very twee or overly, I'm hearing spry, but there's not a very, there's not a cutesy way of you doing this. I think you are very, if not rugged, it's just earthy, or you might have a very strong fashion style in one way or another. It doesn't have to be earthy, but you have a very strong fashion sense, and that matters not. But you are very open-minded, and everything is gonna be okay, and if it's not gonna be okay, then you better knuckle up and figure out something, because it's coming no matter what. There's a very tried and true sense to you knowing the natural ramification of things. I think you're not making situations worse. If anything, people call upon you maybe even to fight for them, or to speak their judgment, or people want honesty from you. They get honesty from you. You might tell them the truth, but there's a sense of you will tell them the truth. You are not a yes man. You will fight for someone. Even if they're not completely in the right, you will fight for their notion. Like, you'll be like, this is what it is, but don't make this worse, to whoever's bickering or whatnot. There's a sense of you plateau, or you level things that are not necessary. The Empress, you level things with love. The Empress is very, you could be very good at starting things up, building things, maybe even stifling business if those are not up for the job or whatnot. You could observe others. You could be a part of a team, or the head of a team, a management position. There's a sense of you are good at taking people out of situations that they no longer serve properly. You're very on the ball and good at this. The way that you cut things, it's not jagged. It's a clean cut, and it is one that you don't fumble over words. I think in social situations, if you're put in something that is it's like awkward or not what people would want to go through, I think you still go through it with flying colors, because there's no you don't feel shame in the same way that other people feel shame or embarrassment. You go through the motions of the things that you go through, and I think that you like people, you respect people, you understand that they're all around you, but there's no shame and embarrassment in you. That's not a thing. Maybe because you have a lot of confidence in the things that you're doing, you're almost so set in your path that looking around at others, it looks a little foreign, or you're very social, very aware, all those things. But truly deep down, you're a very, I don't want to say statuesque, but it's a I don't give a shit sort of thing, but it's in a good way. The Hierophant, yes. Your mental clarity and your mental wherewithal in most situations, either you're out if you can't aid to it, or if you can, there is a sense of people look almost in your direction when they're hung up, or people see that you would be a good teacher. Maybe you're good at aiding others on their path without over giving. Like, you can help, but you don't stifle people's growth in certain ways. If you need to reprimand someone, if you need to punish someone, you can do that easily. And it's not even in an emotional way. It's just a sense of you're mechanical in your whereabouts with humans. Your back and forth with humans is mechanical and social. You're a unique being. It's a very unique task, or just the things that you do. It's very unique, because the fact that you can hold the business and the aspects of yourself that need to be sort of robotic, sterile, those things, and they look good on you because you are so used to doing it that way. But when you show up for people, you're there and you're making people feel very like they're learning, like they're taking in something, they're getting something from you. Even if you're not super close or comfortable, if you're the type of person who's a little awkward in general, even if you're very close to people, or, stutter or whatnot, people still get so much out of your just being around, your conversation, things that you think of, the way that you think. It's just also refreshing and different. You're very different. You're built so very different, and people enjoy that. People really can't get enough of it, even if they don't understand it. I think it's wanting to take it in because you're very new. You almost seem like a fossil for some reason, I think. Like, there's an extraordinary, you might seem very ancient, old soulish. There's something with a lot of wisdom deep within you, and I think you do have a connection to deeper wisdom, and your descendants or your ancestors are very with you on a day-to-day basis, and I think it's very obvious, and that's so nice. I'm actually getting a little emotional. So with that, you gotta know I love you. Howdy, pal 3. Lovely of you to join us. This is how you are coming off to people as of lately, or what people notice about you is what it was. All right, let's get it. Your card. The 4 of Wands. Oh, reuniting. You could be good at dancing or displaying yourself in a certain light. You could be very business oriented, but also dress very attractive. Very tempting. You got the 4 of Wands and then the Ace of Swords and the Devil. I think you are very enticing to many people. Pretty much people lay eyes on you and they're like, oh, who's that? You're very enticing. You're very rowdy, I think. Your Ace of Swords, constantly trying to... Maybe you're looking for business opportunities or ways to make money. There is a gung-ho or If it's not that, there's a sense of you state where you're at. You're very opinionated. You love starting things up. You could make a lot of plans to do things with people. You could be very wanting to be busy socially always, or there's a sense of you're surrounded constantly by friends or family, but you're very good at communication. The Queen of Chalices, the Queen of Cups. You're very good at love. You're a lover, and people want to love on you. I think that your body or mind lifestyle is set up for the lover aspect of you. I think you date a lot and or just present yourself in a way that is attractive to whatever you are aiming to attract. You enjoy the act of sex. You enjoy the passion of dates, and I'm hearing folly. You could really enjoy some riffraff. I think you really enjoy doing... When I say riffraff, it sounds almost bad. I think there's a sense of you enjoy going out and doing social things. People really enjoy doing social things with you as well. Going to museums, beaches, events, maybe you even host events. People are noticing that you're very good at being social and connecting dots socially for other people. You are very good at building teams or reuniting with people. Maybe you're good at being a peacemaker, or maybe even a Cupid. Maybe you brought people together in love, in light. Or if people are bickering amongst you, you'll dead that pretty easily because you're good at communication and conveying the purpose of things. What I'm saying is you're good at talking people down from ledges. If people are very riled up, you have the words to diminish or extinguish such thoughts or actions. You could have had a lot of hostility in your life, so there was a need for catharsis, or you staying on track in some way. They're very much on top of your lifestyle because you need to be. Maybe you meditate or go to services of some sort. Maybe you have to talk to professionals in some way. There's a thing about maybe even you being in control of some aspect of your life that had control of you at one point. You were addictive personality, but it's been reborn and refined. Your passion for this world has been resurrected recently. The Ace of Pentacles, I think you came back into a workforce or just a mental state of being more on the ball. I think people are seeing you fall into a lifestyle that was kind of made for you that took a while though. Like people might have been worried about you. People could have feared your end game, or I think you're trustworthy, but I think that there's a youthfulness or adolescence in your business tactics. There, you could have had a bunch of businesses, or you're a hustler baby. There's a sense that people they had reasons to worry about you, and maybe for good reason, but you've kind of had your hand on the ball the whole time. Maybe if it seemed like you were out of control or twisted in some way, and you could have been a little deranged or there's an aspect of you where the past did have a hold on you. You were in the grips of something that kind of took over your life, and then you took it back. And the things that you're doing, it wasn't easy to do that. The Strength card was not easy. You could have had a long period of time still struggling with these things, but as of lately, people are noticing that you're actually in the groove, or your motivation is there to stay on a path or in a facet of life. I think things are becoming more natural to you. You are catering to what you actually need instead of thinking that the world is the way the world's not built for all of us, and especially not the way that humans have built the world. Like, the natural world is definitely difficult, but the world that humans have created is not necessarily for all of us. Like, the way that certain people learn through grade schools is not beneficial. You understand what I'm saying. It's pretty obvious, and I think that you had a hard time dealing with the fact that you felt cast out, or maybe you were very angsty at one point in time, King of Wands, or maybe you were just able to distract yourself for a very long time, because it's a sense of you're entertaining, you're a nice person, or you're a decent enough person to have others fooled. And not saying you were bad, but I think it's a sense of you had a mask that was strung up to the point where you had everyone feeling like you were going to be okay and this and that. But it's hard to see through the lines at that rate. If everyone thinks you're okay, or if you are able to put on this mask that gets everyone feeling is that everyone was fooled, basically. Therefore, you couldn't get proper advice on how to change. So therefore, it was hard for you to come out of that. It was hard for you to get over the fact that you can be sly and you can trick and trade and all these things. You had to stop yourself from being a net negative, I think, is the situation. You saved yourself. You saw the things that were that weren't right, that were improper, and that did not help others secretly or kind of outwardly, and you took it. You took it for yourself, and you were like, no, we're not doing this anymore. And I think you hid away with that, maybe even didn't tell people. People might not know all your plights. There's a sense of maybe you put people at a distance, and so they don't know very much about you, but I think people reach out to you, or maybe you've cut off a lot of people. There is not an animosity to that. I think I've said others, okay, because I keep on saying people a lot. You have masses. When I say that, I think it's when others observe who you are or what you are, I think there is a small want to continue to look at you. People enjoy seeing what you're doing, how you're doing it, even your downfalls and your upheavals. Everyone is just watching on and observing how it's going to happen for you, how it's going to come together. Because the Ten of Pentacles, it seems as though you've made it this far for a freaking reason. Apologies. Okay, so I think that yonder, people see your masterpiece coming together. Perhaps it was like finger paint, it all looked astray. Others might have been in your life and left it at some point. I don't think a lot of people have super animosity for you as much as they are just wildly curious about where you're going and what's going to happen and how it's going to end for you. I think people are very curious about who you're going to end up with romantically, or what job you're going to end up with, how you're maintaining your lifestyle. That's a big question of how you maintain this whole time, how you've continued to push forward in finance as well. You don't have to be wealthy or anything like this. How do you communicate with others these days? Because all of these things are in the past. Very few people are communicating with you this day and age, and therefore it's mostly questionnaires. There's a lot of questions on how you're doing on a day-to-day basis and what you're doing, and I think it's all a big mystery. But it's a good one. One more card. The Fool. Yeah, it is a big mystery. Zero the Fool, one of my favorites. You depleted for things that you've done and or what life has provided for you. You allowed all these things to fall away, and that is prompted you for a new horizon. The day is begun for you. I think that you are starting to show yourself more or frequently you're around your zero. Therefore, you're budding, you're coming out of the ground sort of situation. You're brand new, coming back around or about to show up more frequently. This is a time where people are wondering. There's a lot of curiosity about you because I think that you might have just come into your personal power or your personal growth. Whether you've been doing this for a long time, there is a certain reverence for you now. There's a certain, and it could be self-implemented. There's just a sense that you have come this far and you've made it this far and you're aware of that, and I think other people are aware of that as well. You might not have been always so stoked on your own flames. You could have realized that you were a badass person but not known to what extent, and it is obvious in your demeanor and the way that you treat yourself now, so other people are kind of following in suit of that. It's, yeah, your respect is there. It's all there. Yeah, it's coming together nicely, and I think it's just very new at this point, which is a fun thing because, you know, when it's new, there's so much to be had. So, okay, with that, you gotta know I love you.